in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Oh, hi. Sorry, my brain's in other places. I'm gonna keep this. I'm not sharing it to too many places today on this one. All right. Got the lighting kind of under control, but only during the day. Yeah, it's not all yellow in the background there. Oh. We're going to be talking about, obviously, we're going to be talking about survival mode, kind of what it is. And you're actually going to find, so here's the thing is it's okay to leave survival mode. Okay. Yet there are things that are in survival mode that you may need to use. Right? See, we've learned how to work things. We've learned how to work the system. We know how to get certain things done. And sometimes we can pass that on. You know, there's a trick to be, let's say you can't get for me, you can't do anything without a bank account, but I'm not allowed to have a bank account under my personal name. So I went out and got what's called an EIN. It's an employee identification number, and that allows me to have a banking under, but of course you got to kind of put a company together, make it legit. Trudging Together is a company. You just can't make up an EIN and use that. That's not the right way to do it. But you can certainly make it legitimate and do things the right way. Food, shelter, companionship, a lot of these different things. All right. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. Looks like we had somebody, but they decided not to stick around. We've also noticed that there's been a big dip in people watching, which means we're going through our, this is something we go through. All right, we've done introductions. Let's go ahead and get started. And yeah, let's do it. Hi, Michelle. Good to see you. So survival mode may be different for some of us, but for alcoholics, it's pretty much the same. And it is exactly what it sounds like. We're just trying to make it each day. Okay, but we have all these overwhelming experiences. And when you're a person like me who was born, let's go back a little bit. Let's figure out why did we even need survival mode? Okay, I feel like I was born in survival mode. I cannot think of a time. I wasn't very honest with my parents. And I wasn't very honest with my parents because I didn't know myself. All I knew is I was in class and I was bored out of my mind. And if these people didn't learn any quicker, I was going to go crazy. So I disrupted the class a lot. I tended to disrupt the class. I wasn't really a joker. I wasn't popular. I don't remember how I did, but I know I did. I was the kind of kid I needed a lot of attention. And because as a kid that needed a lot of attention, I had to learn how to be by myself. That is a survival technique that I needed to learn at a very early age. Okay? And a lot of us do. You know, some of us come from great homes, okay? But even when a person with alcoholic tendencies is in a family, it will be a huge disruption. It's going to be. Sometimes alcoholism skips generations. Sometimes it will skip 2, 3 generations and then appear again. I don't know how it works. I don't know. But science has proven that I'm born with this disease, and I believe it. I believe it only because of my own experience. Okay. So I'm talking survival mode, in elementary school. Yeah. My parents didn't give me rides. I remember riding my skateboard to kindergarten. Yeah. I've always I found at an early age that if you did not take care of yourself, you were not going to get what you need. And if you didn't fight for it, you weren't going to get it. So that's what I did. I fought for it. December 4th, 1977. I was 7 years old. I know the date because it's my mom's birthday. Right? And on this day, my father proceeded to let me know that my mother wasn't going to have a birthday cake this year. And I wasn't going to tolerate that. I wasn't going to tolerate it. Now, I doubt it upset my mom very much. I don't know. But I was pissed. And it wasn't because I wanted to have cake. It wasn't it. It was because I knew what it felt like to not get something on your birthday. I knew what it felt like to be forgotten. I knew what it felt like to be put aside. And I didn't want my mother to feel that way. That's what I thought. I remember it clearly. All right. So I ran away. It was cold. It was cold. Long story short, I did go back home. Yeah, it was kind of a small area. So people, I was found pretty quick and returned home safely. This is 1978, 1977. Okay. And my mom got her cake. What did that tell me? Okay. So what would I start doing? I would threat to run away. And it kind of worked because I did. If I said I was going to, I would. Of course, back then, go ahead, they'll come back. I remember there was once I ended up at this Pizza Hut. I couldn't open the door. I don't know what it is, but Pizza Hut doors have just confused me to this day. I can never open them. Weird. Anyway, yeah, that's why I remember. And then I went in and they wouldn't give me any pizza. So I don't remember how I found my way home. But I do know it was that runaway experience that I found Judas Priest. I came across these people in a garage and they were listening to music. I was an adventurous little kid. Right. So as I grew older, things like junior high. And so we moved from Utah to Colorado, and that was a huge shift for me. People in Colorado act a lot different.
Interrupt for a second. I decided to go talk to them myself. I'm going to go now. I'll be back.
Okay. I love you too. Be careful.
You talk.
I am talking. You talk. She said Utah. She was trying to remind me. I knew. And it was kind of it was a big switch for us because people in Colorado don't act the same. They're kind of different. But I don't know about anybody else, but for me, all I really wanted to do was fit in. I was tired of being the odd person. I was tired of being picked last for kickball, even though I was better than everybody else. You know, see, I came where I had come from. I came from a place of performance. The better you perform, the better chance you got at being on the soccer field. And when I got here, it was about popularity, and man, that just ticked me off. I was a very good soccer player. Um, but what happens is we have this child. I had this childish survival mode, which would move into adulthood. Okay. And it would move into adulthood. And as I got older, I would become more aloof. I would care less about what happened to other people, and I would only worry about what was happening to Dion or for Dion. Okay. Now, my survival mode really switched when I was 14 years old, and I went from living in white suburbia. And I just want to be transparent here. I mean, this was the 80s. I think there was one black kid at our school. I mean, I didn't know. I'm just going to say I didn't know much about diversity. Let's keep it at that. I was naive about diversity. Okay. When you grow up Mormon, it's like that. And I would find out very, very quickly that there was a very, very rough side to life. Okay. And I went, and I've always kind of been shy. I'm shy by nature, but I push myself to do a lot of things. But alcohol changed that for me. Yeah. The moment I started drinking alcohol, suddenly I was popular. Within a month, I had a girlfriend. I mean, I did nothing more. I wanted more than anything just to be like everybody else, because I never had been, and I didn't know what it was like, and it looked a lot better than my life. Okay, but that wouldn't happen for me. Okay. But let's also remember that normal is a cycle on your washing machine. There is no such thing as normal. Oh, I didn't even send you a message, Ingrid, because I wanted you to rest. So I didn't send you a message. So you said you were resting. So, but good to see you. I love you. It's probably not going to be much longer. But I had to go from being a white suburbia kid to dealing with things like Crips and Bloods and gangs and drugs and violence. There was a lot of violence where I was placed. You know, Gilliam, I was in Gilliam Youth Center quite a few times. You know, and so at age 14, I would learn that I need to sit where I can see everybody in the room. I would need to make sure that there was never anybody standing right behind me. I do things like eat very fast. I still do it. I try, and so I have to consciously slow down to eat. Okay? Because in group homes, you didn't get seconds if you didn't eat fast. So the faster you ate, the more food you got. Okay? And when you live in a group home and you feel like you got nothing and food is your only source, you can't get enough. Okay? That's what it's like. It is determined. I didn't get to go to the kitchen and grab a Twinkie. I didn't get to go to the kitchen and grab a snack. Yeah, gangs are pop up everywhere, right? So when I brought this attitude back to white suburbia, they didn't know how to handle me anymore. Okay, what was this? Survival mode. See, they were naive to all of this also. So when I came back and said, you guys ain't nothing, you do not scare. So when I came back and I had people didn't scare me anymore. Sorry, but white people just don't scare me that much. Sorry. Yeah, I'm being honest. This is how life goes so that we could change things. Okay. I was also a counselor for a place called Anytown, Colorado, 2 years. And that there was a camp for underprivileged youth. Okay. So as I grew up now, on the other hand, I am also grateful because I got to learn a lot of different stuff about different ethnicities, man. I learned a lot, especially Hispanic and Black community, you know. And I actually get jealous because they're a collection. They have, you know, the what's the word I'm looking for? They have a background. I don't have one. I'm just an English dude. I'm just some white English dude. Heritage. That's what I was looking for. I don't have much heritage. And that sucks, man. So, but even in the program, I find that these survival skills are quite useful. They're quite useful in the real world. You know, but just like we were talking about with passive aggressive, and I'm glad to hear that, Michelle. Thank you. We're all people, man. We're all people. And if we can't be honest about what we think and what we say, how are we ever going to fucking change it? How are we going to become different people? How are we going to become better if we don't tell on ourselves? If we don't say, yeah, sometimes when a black guy walks by me, I get a little weird. I'm sorry, I do. And I wish I would change that about myself. It is something about me I don't like. Okay. And the more honest I am with myself, the less fear I have. Now, I don't care. I don't care. Okay. Because I've seen that life and what they taught me were two different things. They were fucking wrong. They were full of shit. I was also told that alcoholics are bad people. Okay. Yeah, I was in the Boy Scouts and we go pick up trash and they'd be like, okay, be careful of the homeless. They'll stab you and they'll take your money. We'd all take knives with us. Never saw a homeless person. Okay? Never ever saw a homeless person. But this is what I was told. So when I was 13 or 14 and they told me I was an alcoholic and I wasn't even legal age to buy fucking cigarettes yet, you could imagine I thought they were full of shit. And I told them so. I'm like, you guys are so full of fucking shit. Right? And I became honest when I was about 13, 14. But the problem is I became brutally honest. I was just tired of the bullshit. Okay. And I had found alcohol, which means I no longer, because of the way I said, it's like, well, none of you cared about my feelings. Y'all picked on me, did all that. Well, now it's my turn. And I push harder than you do, I found out. And my brothers would find that out. My father would find that out. Okay. My dad would get a little physical with me. I had not. I push that motherfucker back. You bet. Fucking put your hands on me. Okay. That was at age 16. I wasn't that when I was 13, I was scared of my dad. Okay. So what was most of my survival mode though? anger. It was not just anger, but rage. I hated everyone. I did. When I was a teenager, I had no respect for people because I was never respected. People would say, well, treat others how you want to be treated. I'm like, well, if that's how you're going to treat me, I can do it too. But I've got the difference between me and them is I'm an extremist and I will take it much further. I will become dangerous. See, I think talk is cheap. I will ruin your life. Right? People are like, oh, I'd kill that person. No. I'm going to injure them. Then once they're healed, I'm going to do it again. And again, and again, and again. That was my thought process. I'm going to let you off with one easy thing. That's dangerous stuff. But see, I know I'm capable of going there. I know I'm capable of that. So I don't. There's a lot of things I know I'm capable of, but I don't. I reel that back in. I tap it down. I get rid of it. It's of no use to me. Right? So for me, that's mostly what it was in the survival mode that I really needed to get out of, was that anger and that rage, the hate that I had for everybody. Right? Now I still use my survival mode. You bet. Oh yeah. You know where my survival mode is now? It's in my stomach. It will tell me when something is wrong, and I know when somebody's full of shit. I know it. I may not know why. I just get this little ding, you're full of it. Bro, probably because they're saying something that I've said before and I knew I was full of shit. All right. See, I know you're full of it because I'm full of it. Not going to be able, some people could fool me for a little bit, but eventually I'll figure it out. Right? You know? So when it comes down to it, we're not fooling anybody. We're not. See, I know that every other white person has the same thought process I do. Maybe not every other, but a lot. And I've come to see, and that's when we talk privilege, that's what we're fucking talking about. You know? I just loved it when my younger brother told me I need to check my privilege and called me out with my black cousins. I'm like, you understand my name's Dion. Do you get that? Do you know how many people have said this? You're not black. No, I'm not. I did a lot of phone sales. Between this voice and my name. No. I've listened to, and disgusting too. It's not funny. Grandparents being pissed at my girlfriend for dating a black person. You want to meet my grandparents? No. Mm-mm. In fact, I don't think that was okay at all. And I don't find it funny either. Mm-mm. In fact, I find that sad. I really do. So, but that's what we're talking. I think a lot of white people don't understand what they're saying when we talk about privilege. You bet your ass I have white privilege, and I know it. I know it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And that is because it's kind of like gratitude. It's hard for me to be grateful that I have a roof over my head when there's hundreds of kids out there fucking on the street, man. That's hard for me. I'm not totally grateful for a roof over my head because it needs to be for everyone. It needs to be for everyone. I hope the world gets there someday. I really do. All right, I'm going to go hit the rest of my 3:00 meeting. I wasn't going to, but I am now. Or I'm going to answer my phone. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I love you. Michelle, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here. I love you all. Peace out. And